Allah hayoo everybody, hello and welcome to the first episode of Cook with Mo. Finally, we dropped the first episode. I'm so excited for this. Okay guys, so the show is as obvious as it is. We'll be doing a cooking show. We'll be cooking every week a new dish, some sweet, some savory, all kind of cuisines. We're gonna try everything. Okay, so for today we have Kunafa, so it's a Middle Eastern sweet dish. For it, we're gonna need shredded dough, half a cup of butter, and a quarter cup of powdered sugar. So we're gonna start by adding the powdered sugar to the dough, and then we're gonna follow it by adding the butter. So I got too excited here and melted a whole cup. You just need half a cup of butter. Okay, so and for the dough, you can find the dough at any Middle Eastern market that's around you. They should have it. So yeah, as soon as you get the dough, you want to make sure that if it's frozen, you want to keep it outside the fridge for like at least an hour, and then you want to cut it into small tiny pieces, as you can see here. And then after we start the process by adding the sugar and the butter, we're gonna start mixing with our hands and make sure that the butter got into everywhere inside the dough. If you feel like the dough is a little bit dry or it's not wet enough, you can add a little bit more butter. That's fine, totally fine. And then we're gonna go to the next step, which is shaping the dough. So for shaping the dough, we're gonna need a plastic wrapper and a tiny Arabic coffee cup. So if you don't have an Arabic coffee cup, you can ask at the Middle Eastern store. Once you go and get all this stuff, they should have it. So as you see here, the first step is you wanna, after you put the plastic wrapper in, you wanna add a little bit of the dough inside the cup till you have a good thick base down, and then you start by adding the dough all around the cup. So for also the filling, it will be, so I'm using cheese today, and for the cheese there's a special kind of cheese that you should get. You can't use any kind of cheese. So once you go into the store and get the shredded dough, they should have that special kind of cheese. You can't ask them for the Kunafa cheese. If they didn't, I will be adding the name of the cheese that you can find and get it and use it with the Kunafa. So as we can see here, I added the cheese to the cup, and then I've added the dough to close the whole shape and fill it up. Okay, making sure that everything is tight and nice, and then I'm gonna take out the plastic wrapper and also make sure that it's pressed nicely before I pull it out. Oh, we had some shredded dough flying everywhere here. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, we're pressing here to make sure that everything is tight and it's taking a good shape, and then we are gonna pull it out just like that, and ta-da, there we go. Nicely shaped, and that's it. That's that easy, my friends. It's not that hard. You're just gonna repeat till you're done with the dough. So one more thing you want to make sure is that your dish or your stove dish is buttered really well. There's a lot of butter at the bottom of it, so you want to butter it really well so it doesn't stick. I was about to lose this one here. There we go. Let's fix it, and ta-da. And those are good to go. There's one more step left before we go ahead and add it to put it inside our stove, which is the egg wash. So for the egg wash, we want to make sure that it's really egg washed in all the sides. Okay, and take your time here. And that was our last piece of Kunafa for the egg wash, and then onto the oven. So for the oven, you want to put it at 200 degrees, and you want to put it for 30 or 40 minutes, or until it looks like this. So you really want to check on it every 10 to 15 minutes just to make sure that it's not burned, because there's from an oven to an oven it differs. And as soon as it leaves the oven, you want to add to it the sweet syrup. So the sweet syrup is basically just melted sugar and water, and you can add to it rose water, but that's totally optional. It's not necessary. It just gives it a little bit of a rosy taste. It's really good. And yeah, just make sure that you're spreading also the sweet syrup on each and every piece of kunafa. So I'm just gonna leave you here a little bit. I want you to hear this sound. And that was it. That's our dish for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys make it and let me know what you think about it. And the last step, it's also totally optional, which is adding the crushed pistachios, which just looks like this, but that's totally up to you. It's just for decoration. It looks nice, tastes good. And that's our dish. I hope to see you next week, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.